Welcome to Ken's Corner Podcast, Season 3. Get ready for expert analysis and rising wrestling stars. Now here we go with your host, Ken Judge.
Hey everyone, we're finally back here on Ken's Corner and Sports Chatter this Canada Day, and I guess we took a week off there. JT was all the way down in draft days down there in Las Vegas, so we haven't actually been together for a little bit. I'm going to make a roll call here, starting with our special guest. He lives out in Calgary, but he's a Washington Capital fan, but he has the knowledge of everything in the NHL. I actually played ball hockey with and against this guy, and it's the guy I want to feed the ball to every time for that high slot shot. Everyone, welcome Lem to the show.
Thank you, guys.
Good to have you, buddy.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Nice to put a face to the name.
There you go. I did start a big phone chatter, and that's why JT's talking about that. It's just something to lead us and hurry up. Leaf season.
Yeah, you couldn't understand me.
Yeah. JT, all the way from Thunder Bay. Thank you. Actually, Lem has family in Thunder Bay as well, so he's quite aware of that area as well.
We actually realized we have a link through Atikokan as well.
Oh, wow, that's really cool, guys.
Yeah, we're chatting a little bit there.
Talking about a small town link there, not even 1,000 or 1,500 people there, and somehow we came from the same town. So
that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, welcome to Ken's Corner for sure, fellow town people. Our Nova Scotia connection, Mr. Ian, thank you for joining us. Our other Calgary, and it looks like you're using the water because you look showered. George, how are you doing out in Calgary?
Oh, you know I am, and I wouldn't go around stinking. I do paving, so I get pretty stinky.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, and our downtown person, he's got us muted, and he might be stuck. There you are, Gord. You can unmute. Heart of Leafland, Mr. Gord.
We don't have
Mike's a little.
Yeah, he's having mic problems. Hey, at least my new mic is working today. Gord, you're on. How are you?
I'm back. I don't know.
You're good. You know what? We don't have 7 people here today. We might be all over the place already, but my editor was like, come on, guys, why do you have 7 on? So it was nice that Phil took the day off, and maybe he'll join us again next week. Guys, let's talk about what's been going on here in Leafland to start with. We're going to start with you, Ian, and let's talk about some of our bring-ins. Let's talk about our goalie. Do you have any knowledge on our goalie, Anthony Stolarz?
Listen, anybody who's 6'6" is going to cover an awful lot of net. And, we don't need Darren Pangs anymore. They don't exist. So I really like him. His numbers look terrific. Playing on a really good team, obviously, and playing behind a terrific professional goalie like Bobrovsky. I think everything moving forward with this guy looks good.
Yeah. Gord, what do you think about our new duo of Stolarz and Joseph Woll?
Yeah.
We lost Gord again.
He's on mute. Okay, you know what? We'll just pass it right along the line. Lem, do you like the Leafs' chances with the goalie tandem that we have? It's nice to have someone who's kind of an outside.
To be honest, I haven't really been following the Leafs, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up with that?
Do you know anything about the Florida goalie, Anthony Stolarz? No. Okay, we're gonna pass it back to Gord. It's okay, then we'll get to you. Yeah. We know you.
Sorry, guys.
You're not the biggest Leaf fan, and I've always known.
Oh, you're nervous. Have a drink and let's talk hockey.
What do you think about the Leafs' new duo goalie tandem? Okay, he muted again. JT.
You know what? I think Woll is a potential 60-game guy if he can stay healthy. If he could stay healthy. If he can't stay healthy, it's nice to have someone like Stolarz to back that up, or even to do a 1A, 1B. Stolarz is a solid goalie and a really big man.
Big boy.
And
Yeah.
if you actually watch his technical movement, he moves like a small man. So that's a pretty good combination. I think his numbers will be going to be pretty awesome this year. I think we have a good tandem going forward.
Hey, Gord, are you back on?
Yeah, my son keeps trying to call me and I keep having to decline it.
Oh, okay. My question for you, Gord, are you happy with Wool getting $3.6 million for 3 years? Is that a good contract for Toronto?
I am. I think he's going to have to stay healthy. Because if he doesn't stay healthy, Anthony Stolarz is going to take that job right out from underneath him in a heartbeat. I mean, he did it in Florida. When Bobrovsky played like garbage, he stepped right in, no problem, and took over like it was nothing. So I think if Wool stays healthy, I think that'll be a very nice tandem for the Leafs. But again, it's going to be depending on his health, right?
Mm-hmm. Lamb, do you know anything about our new pickup, Chris Tanev? Anything you could share with us, Leaf fans?
I just seen that he just signed 4-year, 5-year contract or something.
I think he signed a 6-year at $4 million roughly.
4.5 or something.
Yeah, it was to bring that contract down a little bit, but we all know in Leafland that if things go south, there's Robodot Island waiting for Canada in that year 4, 5, and 6. It won't hurt us because Toronto's the richest team in hockey.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Did you see his contract list for the last few years? It's been 4.5 consistently, and he's been ranked one of the most consistent defensemen.
Yeah, he's top 3 defensive in the NHL for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, you know how I feel about it, boys. I was hoping we'd pick him up at the trade deadline. That's how much I like this guy. And, people talk about his injury history. Well, this is back when he was in Vancouver. I don't even think that comes into play anymore.
The reason I think that the Leafs did not pick him up at last year's trade deadline is the fact of Calgary not really wanting to deal with Treliving after he left there, after being fired from Calgary. I think the ask was too high, and Treliving knew that he could just revisit it in the off season, all come to worse, and it worked. Tanev admitted he was not a Leaf fan growing up, even although he grew up in East York. He was a Detroit fan, but hey, I'll take that. He's glad to be home. He has a brother who works in the TTC. He has family all over Toronto, and I think he's going to fit in really well. George, do you think that's our biggest pickup, bar none, was getting Tanev, or do you like the OEL pickup as well?
I like the OEL pickup. I like the Tanev pickup, and I do like the Hakanpaa pickup. If he's able to play for us, and if all this leg talk is a hoax or what. So what's the deal with that?
Yeah,
I don't know. Steve Simmons, he's a hard guy to read. He's been ousted as a writer here in Toronto. A lot of people don't like him, although he writes for the Toronto Sun, which is a pretty big media outlet, if you ask me. But he reported that he is bone on bone, and maybe it's reflected because I don't know if you guys have heard of an actual contract signing, because I've yet to see any report that he's actually signed for Toronto. And if he's not, guess what? We still have that $1.5 million that we can use.
And
I'd like to say is that we're picking up Big D out there, and then it's going to help out our goalies, and hopefully, again, and like everybody has said, Wool has to stay healthy. I would like to just be back on one goalie that's a really good goalie this year, because I was flip-flopping between Samsonov and Wool. Is Wool going to be all right? Is Samsonov going to be able to do this? Let's get a goalie that needs to be there and can stand in there for us. And with Big D back there, we got it.
Yeah. I agree.
Ian, are you surprised that Ilya Samsonov is still actually in the NHL, Las Vegas? And better yet, how about Jack Campbell landing on his feet in Detroit?
Amazing. It makes sense to me that Samsonov is still in the NHL. I think because of the way he fought back from that adversity and what he sort of how he finished the season, it definitely earned him a show me contract, which I believe is what he's gotten. And it's hard to root against Jack Campbell. He's such a likable guy, and what a great teammate. I just don't know if he's an NHL goalie. That's the only.
Well, he's going to have to be, because his partner is Cam Talbot. So one of them are going to have to be a good NHL goalie for Detroit to succeed at all this season.
Ouch. I mean, that's not the hottest tandem I've heard. That's
No. Hey guys, what was your favorite re-signing and what was your biggest letdown as far as what we thought that you were going to bring to Toronto? We'll start with JT. What was your favorite signing?
Domi.
Oh,
I was waiting to hear that.
I love Domi coming back. I love Domi saying what he said. His focus on what's going to happen moving forward. I just love that. I hate losing Bert, but getting Domi back that's huge in my mind.
Yeah. For 4 years, and that he took a team.
Sure he did.
Team-friendly
He
deal.
sure did.
He obviously wants to be the heart of the Leafs, and I think he has every chance to do so coming this season.
He just did an interview with Elliot Friedman. He said he was taking a team-friendly contract because he found a home here in Toronto.
Love hearing that.
Place to place to place. He didn't really find them a home. Here in Toronto, he found a home. He said this is an organization that looks after their people, and he's been saying it all along for quite a while that he found somewhere that he can play and can see himself retiring. I think taking the team-friendly contract for Domi was fantastic.
Absolutely.
The Leafs just got a nice big defenseman. Well, on July 1st they did. Philip Myers there.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that if they can't do a trade or something, that they'll put him in instead of Liljegren at 6'4". He's 200 and something pounds.
Good boy.
I hate to tell you, Gord, signing Liljegren to a $3 million contract, that's not a contract we're going to leave in the press box. If he's Leaf day one, he will definitely be on the ice. Unless, of course, Hakanpaa can upseat him, and then they can actually trade him. I think that's possibly why they did sign him, is because they were sure about Hakanpaa.
I think he's a sign and trade.
Well, why? I thought so too, but why haven't they made that move?
Because
maybe they haven't seen it yet.
They're waiting for one more chip to fall.
Yeah.
Apparently, being said, they're waiting for one more chip to fall, and whoever it is that they're making this deal with, coming back our way is going to be a couple of young players.
Yeah. And you know what, Skinner? We don't want you anyway. By the way, we don't want you. George, you going to go buy an 11 jersey this year?
Who?
A number 11 Domi?
Yeah. This time I'll buy it instead of my wife buying it.
That's a good idea. We're going to pop over to JT just real quick, and we're going to talk about his excursion. We showed him in a picture in the last episode of him heading to Las Vegas for draft day. Let's talk a little bit about what happened that day and some of the experiences that you had that day.
Well, one thing I can say is I've heard rumor that that's going to be the last public draft that they're going to run in that format. There's a lot of rumors going around. I think every year the draft has been a kind of a meh type thing, and it doesn't get a lot of following, I guess you could say. That first round draft sold out the Sphere that was in Vegas. The place was absolutely packed to the rafters, and it was one of the best shows I think I've seen. It was exciting. It was fun. It was a different event, and I'm hoping that Mr. Bettman looks at that moving forward and says, yeah, let's keep this happening, because just keep having it there. Just let the Sphere own that. Let them do that. So, because it was a good show. It was exciting to watch. We had a local boy down here going as well. So, we had about 20 people from Thunder Bay that were down there.
And who's that?
Losing me?
Who was the name of the player from Thunder Bay that got drafted?
Carter George.
Carter George.
Yeah. Carter George. He was the Team Canada goalie, U18s. He came into the draft ranked number 1 in North America, I think number 2 world. He was the second goalie to go in the draft. He went 57th overall.
Where did he go?
So, he's off to LA. So funny story with him. He played for up here, our local AAA team is the Thunder Bay Kings. So he played for the Kings growing up. His favorite team was the LA Kings. He played for the Thunder Bay AAA Kings, and then he got drafted by his dream team, the LA Kings. So
There you go.
It's amazing.
yeah,
That's
Comes
Kind of a
full
Cinderella
circle there,
story.
which is nice.
It's
Yeah.
a good story. Now you're providing us with a few pictures of some of the guys that you drafted. It's beyond me, but I noticed that you didn't have a picture of any Toronto Maple Leaf jersey on. Was that an issue getting close to the draft picks of Toronto, or just unlucky for you?
They did not come up to the main floor. They were nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. So I was a little bit bummed about that, but what do you do? I got to meet a lot of kids, and you never know who's going to be making it to the show there. But
Right.
yeah, it was fun to see. The biggest one I got to see was my incognito one of that guy.
Oh, nice.
So
Tell us his name.
Macklin Celebrini, first overall.
There you go.
So,
Sure.
He's the biggest one.
So because I'm a wanker, I brought 2 hockey cards with me to that draft all the way from Thunder Bay. I brought a Connor Bedard rookie card, and I brought Celebrini's Pride of the program card, just in the off chance and a 1 in a million that I might bump into one of those 2 guys somewhere somehow. And sure enough, after the first round, after he got drafted, that first round night, I was walking down through the corridors. If you've ever been to Vegas, it's huge, and it's easy to get lost. So I got lost going from one casino into the next, trying to stay indoors. And lo and behold, yeah, there might have been a bit of that happening. But lo and behold, I come around the corner and I bump into Celebrini and his family walking back.
Great.
So I kind of explained the situation. You see, they weren't doing signatures. They were just on their way. They were walking. It was as a family, his girlfriend, his mom, his dad. And so I said, I came all the way from Thunder Bay. I said, crazy story. I actually brought one of your cards with me. His dad said, hey, stop. Macklin, stop. You got to sign this card for this guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought that was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's a great story. All right, guys, we're going to play a little game here. You guys are going to finish my sentence, and I'll give you 2, A or B. The A is Toronto Maple Leafs, or the B is the London Knights. Okay. Ian, we're going to start with you. Easton Cowan will play for.
I'm going to go Leafs. I'm going to say the Leafs. His D2, he'd be bored. There's no point in him having it. I say the Leafs. The kid is going to get at least 9 games.
Gord. Easton Cowan will play for.
The Toronto Maple Leafs. I said this last year. I'll say it again. If they can get him rolling, I don't see him going back to the London Knights. He's already proven what he can do down there, outright dominating just about everybody going on. I think the Leafs got to put him in there and figure out what they can do with him to get him rolling.
So you think he's an elite prospect?
I do. I think the Leafs have a couple of prospects down there that could make some of these guys take a second look at whether or not they are going to be playing here or they're going to be playing for the Marlies.
Thank you. George, your turn. Easton Cowan will play for.
The Leafs. I say he comes in like a Matthew Knives, and he puts on a big show, and he wants to be here and make a name for himself. Matthew, he plays for the Leafs.
Right on.
And JT, your answer. The Easton Cowan will play for.
Marlies.
Oh,
He cannot,
I think. Why can't he?
because he's not old enough to qualify for the AHL. He can
I
only
thought he
play
was.
for Toronto, or he has to go back to juniors because he's only 19. He has to be 20 before he can actually play for the Marlies, or else I would have.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my bad.
You know what? I wish that were a possibility.
Yeah, because
Yes.
his problem is right now playing junior. He is a man among men or a man among boys.
yeah.
He just outpowers everybody that's there. I don't know if he's big enough, strong enough to do that in the show, But you take a look at this. There's some young kid who went to Chicago. I can't remember his name there. But anyway, he's a little fella. He got his jaw broken pretty quick, but he plays with the
Can't
big
remember
boys.
his name.
Yeah.
And he can play with the big boys. And I think Cowan's a bigger boy than he was. So
Yeah.
I don't think he plays for the Knights. He's too much for that league right now. That's just not enough for him to play. So I think the only other option, if he can't play in the Marlies to take that middle step, then I think he has to go. He has to go to the club.
Yeah.
He just has to.
Okay. Thank you so much. Lem, I'm not going to ask you that question, but I'm going to ask you a different question. Do you think that Sidney Crosby will sign and finish his career in Pittsburgh?
I want to say yes. I'm 50-50 on that, but I'd like to see Crosby finish his career in Pittsburgh. He's been there for so long or his whole career, and I don't know.
Following his mentor's steps, Marilyn Muse steps, following his steps, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But also, I'd like to see him play with Nate there in Colorado.
Yeah, I think that would be the other place because I sure as heck don't want to see him in Montreal.
No way.
I don't want to see him in Montreal. I do not want to see that. So
Montreal would be pretty cool to see because that was his childhood team, right?
it was. It was.
Oh, it would be nice.
But
to
I'd like
see.
to see him play with Nate. Play with Nate for a season or two.
Yeah,
and
I
then
think he'd be
finish
better
off in
off than
Pittsburgh.
having a toilet seat on his chest. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you another question. Since you're a Washington Capital fan, will Ovechkin finally match and beat Wayne Gretzky's goal scoring record?
Question.
I'm pretty sure all of us want to see that happen, right?
You do.
No.
No, why not?
I do.
I think, Lamb, I think it will happen. Do I want it to happen? Not really, but I think it will happen. I think they're going to figure out a way to get him to finally break
Well,
it. Just-
Gord, I think in my, I hate to say this, but he's kind of going to be a placeholder for Austin Matthews if he stays healthy in the way that Matthews is playing. He's already on a pace to break that record before Ovechkin actually does himself. So it'd be fun to see Ovechkin top it, then be topped again by
Right.
a player, right?
Oh, there you go.
I am on the
I'd like to
side
see
of Ovechkin.
Yeah. I'd like to
JT,
see that happen.
and I already know Ian's answer. He's shaking his head. But JT, what is your feelings on that? Do you want to see him break that record?
You know what? I kind of do. I love Wayne, and I love what he did, but he played in a different era than we are right now. If you look at the goaltending then, the goaltending now, it is a much different era. Wayne will even say that I don't think he would have the goals that he had he been playing with these goalies and this caliber and this gear and everything. I think it's a record that needs to be broken. I think something needs a new stamp. Wayne has enough of them. I think he can spread that around and let the great O actually take one. I'm an OV fan. I hate having to play against him because he'll out hit you, he'll outplay you, he'll out skate you, he'll out fight you. He is the complete hockey player.
And he has the best celebrations when he won the Stanley Cup. His swimming in the Washington Capitol there in that big pool in front of that big monument there. That's just epic stuff. Like that's amazing.
Yes, he's an epic kind of guy, and I think he deserves that one. Honest to God, in my opinion.
That would blow up his head way too much, man.
No.
Well, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer, regardless of what he does.
Oh, for sure,
Yeah.
So, you know what? I hope the best for Washington, Lamb, just not when they're playing the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like the rest of us on this panel will probably agree with me. You know what? I do like your pickups with Jacob Chikrin. That's a great pickup for Washington, especially with that trade for Nick Jensen. So I'm not sure where Ottawa is going on that. Although Ottawa got Allmark, I still don't see that as a better team. Does anyone see a different top four going forward?
No.
I don't think so. Not with what's been going on. No, I don't see there much being to change there.
Okay, well, we're just going to deal with one more thing. I know we kind of keep beating and flogging this one, but we're going to do it anyway. Ian,
Yeah.
Mitch Marner, does he play for the Toronto Maple Leafs game one?
I think he does. I think he does. I don't know what the answer is. Listen, I love him as a player, and him leaving creates a huge hole. It's not about disliking the player. It's about disliking the machinations that come with signing him. I think he stays the year. I don't know what happens after that.
George?
Wow. Like one of our last people on here had said, Marner was the Leafs punching bag and a scapegoat. And I don't want to see him leave. I got a jersey. I don't want to see him leave. He's one of the best passers out there. I'm glad we got Domi, but imagine both of them being on there, being able to pass and being able to do those things and get people goals. So let's go.
Yeah.
Let's keep him for the year. And if he decides to go, he goes. But
That's
we got
it.
Domi.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Lem, what is your outsider view of this?
No comment right now. Just listening here. But
Yeah, you think? Well, the thing is, he's not very tradable unless he wants to leave. He has a no movement. I'm not sure if you knew that, but we, as Maple Leaf fans, we flogged this one bad for a long time. Gord, JT, I'm going to let you guys have your last say. JT.
I think if we are making a play for the cup this year, and it looks like they're doing that, they're starting to put pieces in to think about 1 year only. That is the focus. If that is the case, Marner stays. He plays out his contract. He stays. He builds that, makes us into a 2-3 killing lines.
Absolutely.
And off we go. If at the end of the year we look like with the pieces that they've put together, we don't have the makings for it, then he's a deadline trade at the end of the season.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, Gord, I'm going to ask you the same question, but I want to ask another question if I could. Joe Quenneville was just reinstated in the NHL. Are you still happy with the signing of Craig Berube?
I am signing of Craig Berube, honestly. Craig Berube is a player's coach, but he's also very hard on his players. So he's going to hold you accountable. He's going to call you out. When you have a bad game, he's going to call you out on it. When you have a good game and somebody's bashing you, he's right there to defend his players. So yes, in terms of that, I will agree and say that yes, Craig Berube was a good signing. In terms of Mitch Marner, I said it before, I'll say it again. If the Leafs are doing well and they're headed towards the point that they're going to make the playoffs and everything like that, I could see Mitch again, them holding on to him till the end of the year. If not, likely I can see at the trade deadline them trying to get something back for him so he doesn't just walk away. Yep. That's what I think. I think Berube's got to see what he can do with 3, possibly 4 lines.
Yes. Yeah.
Because as much as we always forget about the 4th line with the players we've got right now. We could run 4 lines very easily and not have to worry about that 4th line giving up the goal right after we score, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone, George, starting with you. Quenneville or Berube?
Berube.
JT?
Berube.
Ian?
Berube.
Do you have an opinion on them?
I like to say Berube, but I'll from probably a little more experience with Quenneville, knowing Quenneville a little bit more. But from look at his resume there, kind of speaks for himself. No, but with all the with what happened there, kind of a little bit of backlash. But yeah, I kind of just go with what he's got on the resume. Yeah, I don't know.
I agree with you 100%. Someone's going to get a good coach in Joe Quenneville, that's for sure. And he's former Leaf product. So I'm happy with either, to be honest. And we got what we got, and that's Berube. And I'm pretty happy with that compared to what we've had in the past.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to the Leafs.
Yeah, let's hold our team accountable.
That's
Let's
right.
see where we go from here. Len, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you can make it back to see us again here one day.
Sorry for being a little quiet there. Just first time, and
that's
you're
okay.
amazing.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
All good, bro.
I'll be a
We'll
little more
start
prepared
asking
next
you-
time.
Yeah, you
We'll
got
start
it.
asking you more about it.
Well, start studying the Blue Jays for me because we didn't get a chance to talk.
I'll
I'm kidding.
get back to you on that one.
Everyone, thank you so much. JT from Thunder Bay, Ian from Nova
That's the
Scotia.
one.
I've been wearing this shirt too long. It's starting to seethe into my
Yes, that's
skin.
right.
Gord from downtown Toronto, Lamb, our guest from Calgary or Thunder Bay, and George from Ontario, but out there in Calgary having tons of showers. Sorry, Calgarians.
I'm cleaning my feet.
Yeah, I think Calgary's trying to clean their things too, right? So maybe there's a few players that we can grab out of Calgary before
Right.
everything goes and takes some pirates some, right? So who do you you know what? I don't have enough time to ask the next question. Well, we'll come back again another time. Thank you guys so much for coming on today.
All right, boys.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll see Paul Hendricks coming back to join us again next week, guys.
Last act.
Have a great day, all right? Bye-bye.
Hey, guys.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye, guys.